Hello and welcome back to another little series on how to fix pilots. So I mentioned in the last update that I just recently posted, these are Lionel sd45s with the kinematic pilots on them. So I've actually already gone ahead and just taken off the O-gauge couplers. So these are real simple. They just have those little plugs. You just pop the shell off, you unplug them, and then feed the wire through, and there's one screw holding them on. So that's pretty self-explanatory on that. And then Lionel actually packages with their locomotives now these, I'm just going to flip this over, these KD mounts. So you can see that mount right below, or I guess it would be right above the KD. And all you do is screw the KD coupler on with one screw there, and then you go ahead and screw the mount and with the coupler on it onto the pilot. So it's actually very simple, and according to my KD gauge, it is like right on. So kudos to Lionel, they did a really good job on that. And very simple to do, to put KDs on these locomotives. So that's actually really nice. I like the mounts. They seem sturdy, and it doesn't feel like the couplers are going to be going anywhere. I did go ahead and put the 746 couplers on. You can see that they're the longer shank. I did this for a couple of reasons. These are for Loving Them Trains on YouTube, and he has a couple of tighter curves, I believe 054. So the longer shank 746s, they allow just a little bit more movement, and that gives the reach required to make it around a little bit tighter curves. The 805s are actually what I have on my SD45, and you can get by with 072, but that's probably the tightest I would go with the 805s. So if you have any tighter curves, the 746s, and I forget the older style, but the 746s, the long shank, is what you'll need. So I went ahead and put those on both locomotives. This is the non-powered super base, so that just rolls freely. And then this is the powered locomotive, so that has all the gears in it to be powered. And then the only other thing that I've done so far is pop off the handrails on the front and back. And one thing that I like that Lionel did with these, if I just lay this on its side, you can see they have a really big tab, and it's very, very easy to take a small screwdriver, a flathead, and pry those up without actually damaging hardly any of the paint. I may just have to put a small dot right there, and that'll be about it for paint. So I really like this. I like this a little bit better than the MTH, which leaves a really short tab, and you can't really get anything underneath of there. So I will be making a small spacer for these, and then I'm just going to attach them right to the frame. This will be almost identical to the way that I did the SD70 earlier this year. So if you go and watch that video on the Lionel SD70, I made the spacer and I screwed right through this frame, and then it actually gave a nice tight, once you put the shell back on, it makes it real tight and hardly noticeable that there's a seam there, and it worked out really nice. I actually almost like that a little bit better than attaching it to the shell, because you're actually into the metal here, so you know that that pilot is never going to go anywhere once you attach it to this metal frame. So that's just a quick update, and I will kind of show this process. I know I've shown before how to cut these spacers, so I'll probably go ahead and cut the spacers, and then I'll show attaching the pilot to the frame, which should be pretty easy because these snap back right where they need to go, and it appears as though they snap back exactly into place every single time. There is a little bit of movement, but if you just let it snap back, it'll be right on. So it should be fairly simple just to glue it and let it sit overnight, and then just tap a couple of holes through here for a couple of screws. That way you know it's never going to go anywhere. Anyways, that is the project, and I will be back in probably a few days showing. I'll have to get these spacers cut and all that stuff, so I'll be back in just a few days to show actually attaching the pilots and how I go about that. Anyways, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.